Aldermen of Cumberland City met in regular session Thursday, December 7th at City Hall with Alderman Gunson absent. Also in attendance was City Recorder Kristen Mathis, Levi Page with the Stewart County Standard, Tina Ramsey with the Stewart County Stream, and also several city residents. Mayor Vaughn called the meeting to order at 5 p.m. and called for the reading of November meeting minutes. They were approved on a motion by Gillum, second by Short. No unusual expenses were reported. New business. Mayor Vaughn stated it's Christmas time again. We have always in the past gave the employees off in a number of days. This year, those days are December 18th, 23 through January 1st to 24. The employees would come back to the office for normal business hours Tuesday, January 2nd, 2024. A motion was made by Milliken, second by Short, followed by a roll call vote in approval. Next, Recorder Mathis made a short update about the TDEC ARPA funding. After a discussion, Alderman Milliken updated the board regarding the county's funding for the teardown of the old school building. Next, Alderman Milliken stated that he has received concerns and questions from residents and himself as well. What is the plan to increase revenue for Cumberland City? He directed this question to the mayor. The mayor stated that the property had been purchased and the purchaser was wanting to put up a subdivision, but he said that could be revenue. Alderman Milliken stated some information on the loss of that Cumberland City would have with the meat processing plant now relocating to Houston County. Mayor Vaughn stated the land is still there in the industrial park and it's in the city limits. The land is still there for tax base for Cumberland City. Alderman Milliken asked Mayor Vaughn, what is the plan to bring revenue into Cumberland City? Mayor Vaughn answered with, whatever the aldermen want me to do, I will be glad to do it. Alderman Milliken said, he is just asking for Cumberland City. That's who we are representing. After further discussion, Mayor Vaughn stated to Recorder Mathis to put on the record that he is not against the meat processing plant. He was against the meat processing plant in the industrial park. After further discussion ended. Mayor Vaughn asked if there was anything else to bring before the board. Recorder Mathis stated to Alderman Short per November's meeting that she had reached out to CEMC and the fire hall was now on the list as well as City Hall to get Cumberland Connect services. Mayor Vaughn called for other business. None was brought forth. A motion to adjourn was made by Milliken, second by Short. Meeting adjourned at 5:25.
You heard the reading of the minutes. If there's no additions or corrections, do I hear a motion to accept this reading?
Motion.
Motion and second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carried. Are there any unused expenses? Ms. Dunlap.
I'm here in front of this committee tonight because we had come to y'all before and asked about changing the street name of Congress Street. And we were told we had to go to the Stewart County 911 board, which we went down there to them. They did not take a vote that night. We were given a denial letter. When I asked who do we appeal to, we were told that we have to come back to the city and we have to ask y'all to do it. If y'all aren't the ones to do it, then we need to know who else we need to go to appeal to. I mean, all we asked for was something simple, and it seems like we've gotten the runaround from the beginning of just trying to get this done. Because at first we were told we didn't know if it could be done, then we were told a way we could do it, then we were told no. And there's just a lot of contradictory information or information that wasn't given. And we're not asking for a lot. We're not trying to be difficult. We're not trying to be controversial about it. But, I mean, we're just trying to do it the right way, follow the rules and the procedures, to get it done. But it just seems like we're not getting the same thing in return. But there was not a vote on it that night. We were told that 911 was a recommending, that they didn't have the final say to decide if it got changed or not. But we were just told they were a recommending committee. But the committee did not vote that night. So we were told to come back here.
To come back here for us to do.
To decide about the street name changing.
What do you know about it?
So I talked to Miss Sunny at 911. I don't know if you're familiar with her, and I talked to Mr. Tom Myers. They're both members of that board. What Miss Sunny, she sent me the procedures for 911. So with me and her figuring out like what we could do here, basically she told me with the procedures that are set in place with 911, we gave up, we made a resolution in 2006 to delegate that responsibility to 911. 911's procedures are, if they don't have 80% on a poll, if like whatever poll you guys get, if they didn't have 80% of that, then they're not going to vote on it. So that's why there was a denial, and they have so long to get that poll together to get the signatures from the residents of that street. Since there wasn't 80% of the poll done, they didn't vote on it. So that made it a denial. Now her thing was they do not have an appeal process. So once it's denied, then it's denied. It's dead in the water. And she told me that that was pretty much, there's no appealing process, and our resolution doesn't have an appealing process. So basically, my gist was, what I got from the conversation was and I asked her, is there anything we can do? And she said there's nothing that can be done now because it's been denied and it's dead in the water. There's no process in place to appeal it from the resolution or their policy.
And I'm gonna be honest, because me and my mother went around and got the signatures, and I was shown how to look up all the properties that are on Congress Street, whether they were federal, empty, or residents, and we had more than 10. She is telling us there were 10. There were more than 10. Just like we were told that the 10 on the list she had, they were contacted. Several of them I've talked to, they weren't talked to by anybody. They weren't called by her. They were not called by no attorney. They weren't called by anybody. And even my mother, whose name is on the petition, she wasn't called. She wasn't talked to. And several other people I talked to, they weren't contacted either and asked about it. The only people that contacted them was when we went around and got the petition done, and I talked to them and they signed it. But as far as anybody else from 911 or calling them, the few I talked to so far, they weren't contacted by anybody. So we don't even know who the 10 are or what happened to the rest of the people that own property on Congress Street.
That's true. I'm just telling you guys what
Did you talk to them about that?
Well, they didn't even give us a copy of nothing that night. We didn't get a copy of what list she was working on, nothing. All we got was the denial letter.
The problem that we have, we cannot decide whether you can or can't change the name. It's not even up to us anymore. It's up to 911.
And I understand that, but when I asked about how do we appeal, who do we appeal to, I was told I had to come back here.
From 911? We gave up that right in 2006. And that's for the safety of the whole community, right?
And
I mean,
I
because the street names and everything that they present to. But we have no ability to change that. We don't.
So who do we appeal to? Who do we go to?
there's not in the process.
I don't know that. Only thing I would know is to say, is talk with the 911 people. That's the ones that have it. I don't know who would appeal to or what, and if they're telling her that there's no appeal process, you would have to start there, I would think.
I feel like from them, the whole thing, it's been a runaround. Because they've been rude about it from the beginning when we started this whole thing.
Yeah.
I mean, every time we ask a question or try to get something done, it's just rudeness, or we can't get what we ask for, or we finally get it, but it's like pulling teeth. And to me, it's just, it's kind of sad and it's kind of disheartening. And it's something right now I'm just not going to give up on, because
I understand.
I mean, we're not
saying
asking for a lot. We're just asking for something small and something simple for a man who did a lot in this city, this community, this county.
And from our perspective, we can't change the road name, okay? We can't do it. But what, I think Gary even said, the park up there, for name it, there's something else that we can do, but we can't change the street name. That we can't.
So is this something that I'm gonna have to go back to the county on.
County or 911, I don't even know what to tell you, to be honest with you. I'm sorry, I wish I knew, but I don't know. And maybe you do, I don't.
They said that it would be, they'd be on the jurisdiction of the state of Tennessee when they took it over in 2006. And why it was to be that way was to keep duplication of names to where the ambulance wouldn't be running and chasing a road. And
And I did read that, because
Yeah.
I read the whole, and I did read that. The only thing I could not find was an appeal process, so.
They said there's not one
they
set in
don't have
place.
one. They don't have one.
There's not a
It's
policy.
final whenever they make a decision.
So
Way
there's
it's
nobody that
explained to
checks
me.
their decision or how they go about doing,
It's
making theirs,
911.
it's just, that's it.
It's 911. And they go by the jurisdiction of the state of Tennessee.
So is that, do we have to go to the state about it?
I
Is
honestly
that,
don't know. I honestly don't know. It was one road named here in town. We didn't even know nothing about it. And they come to the election commission to vote and nobody had anything, but that's where they live. And they checked with 911 and sure enough, I mean, it's them. They're the ones that make that jurisdiction move.
thank you.
I'll get to you at the end of the meeting, sir. I will come back. I will come back. If we got people that's on the agenda, we want to keep moving. Is that all you have, ma'am?
You just process it again.
Is that all you have?
That's all.
Thank you. Alexis Taylor.
I am here to bring to your attention the possibility of a grant that I feel like that Cumberland City would qualify for. So I got a handout. I'm going to give you these. I've got one for each one of you.
Oh, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
That was mine, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. And then I'll just briefly tell you about this. The back page is basically my notes. So first, this is called a Brownfield Grant. It's through a BRAG program, state of Tennessee. It's not a federal program, it's a state program. And so a brownfield, the definition is it's a property or a development that expansion of use is complicated by the presence of a hazardous substance, pollutant, or contaminant. Brownfields are generally defined as abandoned or underutilized properties, and they contribute to blight and community decline. Well, we are going to be awarded the Parks and Rec grant of $250,000. This would be an additional grant, and with a max of $500,000. As you look at the information, there's several phases that you go through, and this grant would be a no-match grant, meaning our city would not have to match any funds that if we were awarded this grant. And I think that part of it, if we are using the other grant money, this could be additional money that could be used with the taking down of the old structure, as well as this grant could pick up and create and fund a new structure on that property. So the open enrollment for this starts in February. I was told by Miss Amy, who I've been talking with about this, it'll be a competitive grant. I understand from talking to Kristen that to apply for a grant, y'all will need to vote on that. And so, you know, I would like to see this move forward, application of the grant, and see if we could be awarded some money.
And just to looking at this, it also talks about recreational opportunities as well too, just like towards the boat ramp and different things there is. So it could be even more than, and this is annually, so it's
This
like
is
500,000 annually.
annually that would go towards the property. And as you notice, the two phases there, that's kind of investigating, evaluating the property, seeing what can be done, engineers, planning, that type stuff. And then the 500,000 is a funding actual on site. Now, I think, Eric, that it would be for a particular property. Because we're going to have to tell what we would want to do with that property in this grant. We're gonna have to explain that. So I think that if we apply for specifically the campus there, that's where this money would have to be used.
But I think the way I even read it, you could do multiple
You can,
sites.
yes,
Yeah.
you can.
So for that and for that, and it's 500 per site.
That's it,
Yeah.
you can, yes. And I don't know all of the ins and outs of this. Miss Amy said she would be glad to answer any questions that we would have about that. So, her email is on here, or I would be glad to try to find out, information.
And Kristen, is this something that you would apply for? Is this how, is this
I mean,
would work?
I guess I would get with, Miss Amy and go from there, if, you know.
Yeah.
It's, cause it's not something that I can do through, or I don't know, I have never seen it come across our .gov
Yeah.
things that I have with our SAM account, so.
I think it's definitely worth looking into, especially with no match. That would be huge for multiple areas, but I make a motion to proceed with the grant application.
I second it.
Well, if it don't call for no money for us, all we
Exactly
need
right.
is, we don't even need a roll call. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carried. Thank you, Alexis, that sounds good. That sounds good, but I imagine it's like a lot of them, it's gonna take a whole lot of investigative work. You have anything else?
No, that's it, thank you.
Or if he needs to go.
Back to you, sir, you
Oh,
had a,
no, that's all right. I was just gonna add a comment, but I didn't need to.
okay.
If I can go next.
Mhm.
I got with, Tom again, Tom Myers, you know, I talked to him the other day for a little while. PEP on the school building, that's an annual thing, but what the 2-year was, and what we talked about 2 years was the appraisal. The appraisal on the building and on our, any of our structures with PEP is every 2 years.
Mhm.
But they're gonna come back in a year.
And appraise it.
Mhm.
And what?
Because they
Is that
really didn't wanna
October?
give us any liability. It's August.
Oh.
So they gave us until October to make sure it was done, or they were gonna drop us. But our actual, policy started on August 4th of '23.
I'll push on that, try to see what I can get.
Yeah, so August of '24 is the next, cause he said, you know, right now, we should be fine. You know, they were happy with the adjustments that we made. And they may be for next year, you know, cause we really did, the guys did a really good job on the school building. And they still have a couple, they had a little issue with some hornets. I guess they're still alive. So they're waiting for a good cold day to get those hornets in the ground. Mr. Terez didn't do so hot. So, but there's just a couple more spots they gotta get closed up. But Tom said the pictures that I sent him, PEP they were fine with for right now,
Okay.
as a liability standpoint. So that's where we are.
All right, I'll try to get some more updates on that money as well too.
How do you scan that right there
With your phone.
to get the
Oh.
information of the
Phone?
cell phone? Oh,
Just with your camera.
anybody got anything else for you?
I'd like to say the Christmas was a success at the fire hall, and thank everybody for their donations and all the help that we had.
Towards, a lot of the
Volunteers.
pictures was full, the place was full.
We had enough toys that I know we gave out for 99 children.
Thank you, ma'am. Anybody else got anything? If not, I hear a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion and second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, and so called.
Thank you, Alexis. That looks very promising.